Okay, should we do it? I cocked it! I cocked it! Proper mistake! Come guys, let's do it! Finger left, finger left! Ready? Okay, are these guys riding or they're not riding? Oh, you motherfuckers. So, first little extra run of the day, see how everything works out. But this isn't where this all started. As one can imagine that before you get to quaint alpine villages, picture postcard Austrian scenery, alpine cows in a field, and probably the most random Google Maps navigation since we ended up on a private road in the middle of a forest in northern Wales, one has to deal with flight cancellations, emergency train rides, and half of the posse arriving at my house at 1:30 in the morning. And having learned a valuable lesson from our last trip to the Wales, a video series you should definitely check out on this channel, when I was fleeced €100 for bike transport, and then having the airline just not load my bike onto the plane because of lack of space, even though I had booked the space weeks in advance, as well as receiving a confirmation email to say that there was, in fact, space on the plane. Well, let's just say we definitely weren't going to make that mistake again. And so, to circumvent this little problem, I'd organised us some sweet rides from the boys at Ride House Kastner, and they generously hooked us up with a sweet ass fleet of top shelf Santa Cruzes. So nice, so very, very nice. And because we were about to drop down the side of an Alp on bikes we'd never ridden before, including me, because my brother had appropriated my 5010. Something to do with not wanting to have to spend a week riding with his brakes on the opposite sides of the handlebars, or some such other bullshit excuse. Personally, I think he just wanted to ride my sweet ass rig. Thought we'd get in a bit of a tester run, and what better way to do that than dropping in on our first party train of the holiday on the trail, Panorama. And so it was time to split up and hit the lifts. And I'm sharing a lift with Stu, who's documenting. There was just the small task of having to locate Jay and Carstens, both of which had arrived earlier in the day and were somewhere out on the trails, somewhere in the Saalbach-Hinterglemm Leogang area. And after ducking back to our accommodation, because somebody, and we won't mention any names, it was definitely Cousin Al, forgot our Joker cards, headed back up to the lift station to meet the boys, only to find Jay already chatting to my brother. It was the epic, majestic quality of my brother's snort that attracted Jay to general vicinity. It definitely had to be that. It couldn't have been pure random coincidence after all, and once again proving that if you have an epic, majestic snort, only good things will happen in your life. Let that be a lesson to you kiddies. But enough of that. It is now time for our first run montage. Oh, missed it. And Panorama being a blue flow jam, it's near impossible to ride it with any degree of seriousness. But it is a perfect way for the lads to dip their toes into their first alpine riding experience and to test out some hastily set up bikes before having the opportunity to throw ourselves down anything a little more testing. With plenty of jumps, berms, and no real surprises expected, it was a great way to kick off the trip by stretching out some tired legs after a long drive, as well as giving us an opportunity to run our first massive party train of the trip.
Oh shit, the dog.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow, fuck that, eh?
Das war's, Gaza.
Boom. Boom. We are getting ready for the first official day, and it is pretty flippin' toit. There are the boys out on the balcony, and we're busy preparing the good old traditional German Weizenweiss for breakfast. That's right, we're gonna be scarfing down in a minute, and the day is absolutely fantastic. let's get it going.
Okay. Futat, Blätter, Skazi.
And after introducing the Insel upper to the most glorious of German inventions, sausages and beer for breakfast, it was time to tag into what we affectionately call the safety blue, giving us a chance for another sweet party
train,
as well as time to warm up the old legs for the day, and to make sure that all of the changes we'd made to the bikes were moving us in the right direction. And you know, because we'd had beer for breakfast, that needed to be party trained out before riding trails that required some actual skill, because you know, on this channel we're nothing if not extremely safety conscious. It is a well-known fact.
Stay down! The JGG!
And so, after following the good Scuzzy L down the first section, it was time to mix things up a bit. Time to hop in behind Carstens, who'd come up from Salden with Jay, and was the first time we'd had a chance to ride together. And because he'd already been up here a couple of times, graciously spent the day showing us about a bit, which was proper good of him.
And I'm behind the J-Dog!
And as the party train got looser and looser, it was time to follow the old J-Dog once again, who was lucky to be wearing his safety goggles, because he was taking a generous helping of stees to the eyes, all thanks to the good Scuzzy Owl.
Ooh. Almost overshot that into you, Jay. I need a bit more space, I think. Oh. Whoa. That was pretty surprising.
In fact, that was slightly poo-inducing, to be honest, but constant trail maintenance is an important part of the game, especially considering that the break-in bumps in some sections were large enough to tear the arms of small children. Something Jay was particularly not too happy about, as this was like his 6th odd day of bike park in a row or some such thing.
You brake bumped out, eh?
But being the brute man that he is, he was not going to let that slow him down. So it was time to wrap up these blues and head over to something a bit more challenging. Back in a lift with the old Scuzzy, and Jay is busy frantically giving us hand signals about not getting out.
Stay where you are!
Stay where you are! Don't get out on this lift station! We're going higher. And that is the higher. And that meant taking in one of the highlight trails of the area, the Hacklberg Trail. 5.4 kilometers of red trail awesomeness that just happened to start off with a mellow blue flow jam. Oh well, some things are just the way they are. Oh. But that mellow flow jam quickly gives way to what we have come to know as flow jam, and a trail that really lets you get your speed up, all the while peppering you with rocks, gullies, more rock, roots and jumps. What is not to love about a trail like this? This trail is well deserving of its reputation, and one that we would highly recommend checking out. It is also one of the group's favorite trails of the trip. A trail so good, I didn't want to chop it into oblivion. So let's get this checked out with your eyes.
Fuck me, I'm not right for this. Jay's busy having a sex leader in front after not finally getting a trail that's not massive flow jams, which he is not a fan of. Whew. Whew. Watch the hands, fella. Watch the hands, brah. Oh, fuck me.
There are a couple of features on this trail that Jay and I would have liked to have gotten ticked off the list. But stop starting needlessly isn't quite party train etiquette. And this trail definitely needs a couple of runs to get it dialed in. But we were on a tear and there was a lot of bike parks still to see. And we were burning daylight fast. And so we were off to find us some new trails to ride and beer gardens to stop, which we did. But that is a video for another day. So we'll catch you soon on day 1, part 2, next Sunday. Be sure not to miss it. Check your wet.